It's 10:24 with Britain's News and YTV News with Andrew Pearce and Bev Turner.
So Labour has confirmed plans to cut the voting age from 18 to 16 in general elections.
Conservative Party Chairman Greg Hands criticised this as a move which he says is a desperate attempt to manipulate the electorate, raising concerns about the potential advantage it may offer Labour. So
we're joined now by Milton Danczuk, a youth cabinet member. Milton, if I'm not mistaken, you're going to be celebrating your 16th birthday next year. So are you excited that you might soon have the right to vote?
No, I disagree with Labour's plan to actually lower the voting age to 16. Like Andrew said previously, it's a bit gimmicky. I think it's a bit of a desperate attempt to stay in power, and I think he's a bit hypocritical with it. Earlier this year, he said that he doesn't believe 16-year-olds are old enough to decide what gender they are, but he thinks they're old enough to vote. So I think he needs to keep consistent.
About, do you think you should be able to join the? I mean, you couldn't join the army until you can't apply to your 17 years and 9 months, which means you're 18. Do you think, Milton, there should be things you can do at 16 and a half, 17, which you can't do now, albeit perhaps not having the right to vote?
You mentioned the army. I'm pretty sure you can join the army at 16. You're just not on the front lines or basic combat. Yeah. In regards to things you can do at 16 that you can't, apart from voting. No, I can't think of anything. I think it's key we keep it consistent. Obviously, not buying tobacco. Obviously not able to buy tobacco until you're 18. Not able to buy alcohol until you're 18. And not being able to vote till you're 18. I think changing voting to 16 and keeping smoking at 18 and buying alcohol at 18, it's just not consistent. And I think
Milton, look at you. Look at you. You're fabulous. You're intelligent. You're articulate. You're politically motivated. You and your mates should have a vote, shouldn't you? Why would you want to deprive yourself of that massive part of our democracy?
I don't think it's necessarily not being, smart enough, and not being not being what I'm looking for. Not being
like prepared.
Yeah, not being smart enough and not being prepared enough. I think it's just a case of keeping it consistent, and if it's not broken, why change it?
Now, Milton, I know your dad quite well, of course, and he was a very illustrious member of Parliament for many years. Have you talked to him about whether 16 is a good age or a bad age to be voting in general elections?
Before coming on, he did mention, I spoke to him about it because I did wonder what his opinion was, and he said that he believes 16-year-olds should have the ability to vote. Because they should be more involved in politics, but I think I disagree.
If that's Simon Danczuk, of course, your father. But if you were to take a straw poll of how your classmates might vote, Milton, or the people in your year at 16, what year are you in? Are you in year 11?
Yeah.
You're in year 11, so you've got GCSEs this year. What do you think your peers would vote if there was an election now?
Yeah. If there was an election now, they'd all vote Labour.
Really? Why?
Because, it's... Well, I don't think it's necessarily because they support Labour or they like Keir Starmer. I think it's a matter of they're voting for party, not person. And it's a North, it's a very Labour area. And, all the parents are quite Labour. So I think they just go what the parents say, quite frankly.
And if your parents told you, OK, Milton, there's an election, we want you to vote X, would you not go say, fine, Mum and Dad, and then in the ballot box go and vote Y?
Well, I mean, say if they wanted me to vote Labour, but I obviously want to vote Conservative, I wouldn't just say, OK, yeah, I'll vote Labour. I'd tell them, no, I want to vote Conservative, and I'd go do that.
Do you think you'd also have a lot of people voting for the Greens?
No.
Oh, really? Interesting. I think a lot of the youth would.
And who's the most popular politician in your class, Milton?
Oh, that's a good question. Unfortunately, I'd have to say Angela Rayner.
Really? Labour's deputy leader?
Yeah, extremely popular.
Is she? Can you work out why, or why she's on their radar? Does she have a big TikTok presence or something? Because that's generally where a lot of your generation will get their politics from.
Not as far as I know, but I think because she, plays into the whole I'm a working class woman, I grew up on a council estate. People, I think they connect to that, and they see her as one of them, or they see her as someone of the same, someone they can talk to, someone who knows what it's like.
It's relatable.
And what about you, Milton? Are you going to follow in Dad's footsteps and consider a career in politics later on?
Definitely. I'm already a member of the Conservative Party.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
So you council first, be a councillor first?
Well, probably. I mean, unless I could become an MP first.
Right.
Oh, he's aiming higher than you've got expectations for him, Mr. Pearce.
The youngest MP is 25. He won a by-election a few weeks ago, so you're 16. 9 years' time, it could be you, Milton.
Well, yeah, exactly.
We'll still